They all have us tricked, man. Got some coffee this morning and I went to go put like some creamer in it and I go in my fridge and there's been like this almond milk in there for a while and I've been using that and I'm not a fan of it. It kind of leaves me with like a cotton mouth. It leaves my mouth like dry and I don't know if it's the almond milk or it's just my shitty coffee or it's just a combo of both. I've been trying to avoid that. So I've just been using just black coffee with like 2 or 3 Splenda in them. That's been kind of my go-to. But today I go in there and there's fat-free milk, and you gotta. This is a backstory of my childhood. I grew up eating fish sticks, animal chicken nuggets, uh, French fries, the ribbon ones, like the short, stocky ones that uh, are kind of like they look like the bottom of the ocean, like wavy. I guess just wavy fries, but not like there's no fast food restaurant that serves them. Uh, I grew up on that. I grew up on obviously peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Bologna sandwiches were my favorite. You take fried bologna, you just take some bologna, put some butter on the pan. Or actually, I grew up on margarine, which I think is even worse. But I had margarine, and then I would take fried bologna, throw it on the grill, take 2 pieces of that Wonder Bread, and then you would just put the bologna. So you would go bread, bologna, and then you put cheese on it. And not like a quality cheese, but just like that shitty plastic cheese that the good old American Kraft single cheese. Then you throw another piece of fried bologna on top of that. Not like a piece, but like 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, cheese in the middle, Wonder Bread on top. Just cut that bitch in triangles and you just eat that. And then you get some fish sticks, and then you get some what were they called? Animal chicken nuggets, and then you get some. Then maybe the next day your mom might call you in, and you get tomato soup with some grilled cheese, and then I always had tomato soup to dip. 'Cause I would eat about 3 grilled cheese sandwiches, so I had like 6 halves, and you'd be playing out there all day. Look at my cup; it's a penguin. I don't know if you can see, but I got a penguin cup. But you would be out there all day just playing around, running into trees, playing football with your friends, just doing dumb shit, like acting like there's perverts in the woods. Like we always had this guy, the block I grew up on. We always had this dude who we thought lived in the woods, and I don't know where it started from, but I think it's because one day my dog was out on a walk with me and my dad, and the dog just started barking towards like this area of the woods that was like super dense, kind of like the mangrove forest like in Florida, where it's like really thick vegetation. I think that's where it is. And my dog's barking and barking and barking, and being at that age, you're like 8 years old, 9 years old, and you're like, what the fuck is going on there? What is going on? But you don't ask your dad because you don't want him to give you a response because he most likely right that like the dog like saw a squirrel or whatever, but you want to like make something up in your head just so it's like it's that age, like your imagination just running wild, and it's pre-puberty, so you don't have like the the puberty thoughts where you're just hyper sexual all the time. Everything gets you aroused, so you don't have that going on, and you're just young and innocent. So you're like making things up in your head all the time. So for some reason, my dog barking towards the direction sparked an idea in my head. I was like, oh, well, maybe this is, maybe there's a person out there. And I think I was watching like, we grew up watching Survivor, which was a TV show where you just put a bunch of strangers out there. Actually, my sister, she got a call back to go. I think she literally was going to go to Survivor. Like she was all the way through the system to go watch or to go be part of that show. They did like a round of casting, and she just like put her name in, and apparently they called her back and said, yeah, we got one more round for you. So she was like just about to go, like the final four of the NCAA tournament, but she had to go to school, so I think she chose that. Anyway, I get her back on, and she can talk about that. So yeah, I was big into like we would always watch Survivor. So I always thought it would be cool to like be that person who could like survive in the woods or something. We would watch Survivor and Survivor Man with Les Strauss. So if you put a combination of an 8-year-old kid with their father, you know, if it was 8-year-old me, I would probably go home and tell my dad. But like, I didn't want to be like, "Yo, dad, what is that?" You know, at that age, you kind of just want to make your parents think that you know a lot more than you do when you really don't. And that's what's funny about it, is they know you don't. But yeah, so I'm thinking that there's someone out there like living in the woods, because that's what I want to do if I was like a grown up. That's what I would want to do, like live in the woods and not have any responsibilities. So cut back to like the next day, like the next week, and I'm with my friends and I tell them my story. You know, I don't tell them the factual story. I just tell them what's in my head. I'm like, "Hey guys, I was out there with my dog, and you know, my dog is like she's like a protecting, like she protects the house, so she knows when stuff's going on, like she knows when people are around and stuff like that." So I convinced them to believe that there was somebody out there, and then we convinced ourselves to believe that someone was out there. We would like hear noises and we would be like, "Oh, that's him." So it went on for a few months, and it got to the point where we thought that there was like a person who like captured people. Not really perverts, because we didn't understand that, because nobody I grew up with I think was like molested, at least as far as I know. So nobody had like an experience with it, but we all knew that from like watching Scooby-Doo and like TV shows, that we knew people did get captured. So we had this idea that this guy captured people. And so this summer went on, and I don't really know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I might try to connect this with something. Oh yeah, I know what I was trying to get at. Something to do with milk. Yeah. Anyway, so the summer goes on, and we started building these like forts out there. So it's like behind my friend's house. He's got that chain fence with the fucking annoying dogs, like the, you know, like not pit bulls, but like 3 little miniature pinchers, or like little toy dogs. Like bigger poodles, but not like the ones that are like all fancied up, because where I grew up, nobody had a fancy poodle. If you had a fancy poodle, it was probably gonna be a like a shish kebab. Yeah, the people I grew up with had like pit bulls and German shepherds, and that's about it. Like maybe a Labrador, but like a chunky Labrador, like a big Labrador, like a Labrador that's like considering going sober, but has been like drinking for like 10 years and is just like fed up with life. But it knows that if it went sober, it would be better for the dog or better for its health, but it doesn't want to. So it's just a grizzly, tough looking dog. Yeah, so as the summer goes on, we were right on the edge of the woods. And this is something I miss about childhood. And not that I miss it, but I almost miss it for my kids in the future, and I don't have any. And I kind of look around and I see kids nowadays. And I'm not judging generations at all. I mean, I'm 23. I guess I always think about this. I think I'm the last generation, at least for like the common middle class, mid-lower class person. I think a lot of people all around the world still do have like imaginations that run wild. But if you have any sense of wealth, iPads are attainable nowadays, and they almost become like iPads are kind of like sectioned off like in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have like at the bottom, you know, you have like affection, touch, and then you have food, then you have shelter. It's almost like the iPad now, or like having an iPhone is kind of down there at like the bottom. Like everybody has one. I was in my marketing class, and my professor's she's like, if you have an Android, raise your hand. And nobody raised their hand. Not one person raised their hand. And she said, if you have an iPhone, raise your hand. And every single person raised their hand. So it's got to the point now where everybody has an iPhone, everybody has an iPad, and these kids have them. So their imagination, I used to believe, like, I used to think like, oh, the imagination is probably stunted. But it's not. I don't think it is. I don't think it is the way that people like me, like I'm not old, but like, you know, people older than me, people that don't have kids, that don't experience it. I think it's stunted in some ways. I think it's stunted in the sense that they're not going to think perverts live in the woods, which is probably a good thing. So it's stunted in that sense, but I don't think it's stunted in like creativity, because I mean, let's face it, people can get mad all they want about technology, but at the end of the day, you're not going to stop using your technology. So it's kind of counter to it's almost like hypocritical. You're going to keep using your technology because you need it, because at this point you have all your files on it and you need to use your phone. It's something that Apple and Facebook has trapped you into. You have to do it or you are not at an advantage, or you are at a disadvantage in life. I mean, if yeah, so it's kind of at that point now. But I see some of these games that these kids play on these iPads. I'm like, no, that's actually pretty. I was dude at 5 years old. I was a dumb brick house. Like I was stupid. I wasn't doing these architecture games. I wasn't learning how to ration out my seeds so I can grow like certain seeds throughout my or certain plants throughout the winter. Like they have like these farming games and they have like these architecture games, and it's almost like they say the smartest people in the world are chess players. Like intelligence is usually very highly correlated. Like the level of intelligence, level of IQ is very, very highly correlated. There's no causation, but very highly correlated with chess players. And it has something to do with like the space, the ability to like break up the board into different sections, an ability to think super far in the future, and to think about if this happens, there's many options here, and if this happens, there's many options. So it's just like a very complex way of thinking. It's like the closest way to think as like a computer does. Yeah, so I almost think like this iPad generation, which is what's growing up right now, is going to be, I think, introverted. I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't make predictions, but I think they're going to be introverted. I think they're going to be innovators. I think they are going to develop their own wave of like political parties. I think they're very outspoken, which is amazing. I think that's a beautiful thing, and I think there's always a generation gap. And I've always tried so hard, and I think I've done a really good job at understanding the other generation. Like so much so, if I hear somebody who's older and they're talking mad shit about someone who's younger than them, saying they're lazy, they feel privileged, they feel this and this and this, I listen to them because I don't understand their life, but I can understand where they're coming from, and I can understand how they might have resentment. I can understand how they probably have friends who passed away. I can understand how they probably have friends who lost a job to someone my age, and I can understand how it's got to be frustrating being 45, 50, 60 years old and having this phone, and you don't know how to use it exactly. You're not efficient at it, and you have kids and you have grandkids, and they're constantly doing things, and you can't experience it with them because you can just say, oh, we can FaceTime now if you want to see the grandkids. And where it used to be, you go to their house. So I can understand and like go to the house and play with the kids, so I can I totally understand like the resentment part. Like it makes sense to me. I'm not one of those people that think that old people are ignorant fucks. There definitely are some, but there's a sense of understanding, and it's weird. It's like, that's like the middle ground. But once you get to a certain age, like 70, 80-year-olds, they are a lot like young people. They just kind of, I don't know, not a lot like them, but they're just very go with the flow kind of thing. I don't know if that's young people, but anyways, fish sticks. So let's get back to fish sticks. Yeah, so I grew up with like these kind of foods and hot dogs and stuff. Oh, quick story. So I have this really intense, advanced food aversion when it comes to hot dogs. I don't like them, but I love them. One of the foods I also always ate with my dad. My mom would go on like these little trips, and she would like go out with her friends for a weekend. She would go to cities. She did a lot of scrapbooking in Ocean City, Maryland, not New Jersey. I didn't realize it was Ocean City, New Jersey for the longest time. And then I started thinking to myself, there's probably an Ocean City everywhere in the country. But I think the one in New Jersey is more popular than the one in Maryland. I'm not too sure. But I met people like in Pennsylvania, and I met people in like West Virginia who go to Ocean City, Maryland for like their spring break. Or I guess like their beach week, which is like basically beach week is just a party after high school for seniors. I never attended it. Yeah, I didn't. I'm very introverted. Like outside of my house, I will associate myself to my best ability and I will try my hardest to connect with everybody and I will really try my hardest to make everyone be heard and feel good about themselves if I need to. But otherwise, I am a closed book. I'm very quiet. I'd much rather read all day and drink coffee out of a penguin's face than go out and the idea of going out and going out just to go out and have fun. I don't want to come off a certain way, and I wish I wasn't this way, but I'm still trying so hard to wrap my head around that. Like I've been to therapy for that. I'm trying so hard to understand why somebody would want to do that. Not for somebody else, but I guess for me, I'm trying to understand why I don't do it. I guess I almost like, and I guess in some senses, I'm almost embarrassed that I don't enjoy extracurricular activities. Like a lot of my friends, like I have a lot of friends that enjoy going out and they enjoy doing things that kids my age like to do. I was having a conversation with somebody at the gym, and they kept on saying things like, dude, you would be the perfect college kid. I was like, I don't know. You're wrong though. Like, you got to understand. If I lived at a college, not on campus, but I lived in an apartment. I had the ability to go out. I had the ability to make friends. I had the ability to do all these things that you would normally do when you're 20 years old in college. But I had no recollection of doing that until I saw one of my friends do it. I saw one of my friends do it. I was like, oh, that's what you do. But then I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I have this project I need to do, or because at the time I was really starting up my clothing company, silencefitness.com. It's still up and running. I'm not shutting it down. It's going to continue. Just taking a break right now. Have a lot of other things going. www.silencefitness.com. Anyways, a little shameless plug. But yeah, there was just so much. I look at like each day is like a Christmas gift for me, you know, and I unwrap it and I want to get the best out of that Christmas gift as I can, you know, and I think for me, I look at time and I look at time as like the most potentially impactful and most detrimental ROI investment you have. I really do. I look at it like that. Like you can either take these next 2 hours and just completely go backwards or stall out in your life, or I guess what you want to accomplish, or you can take these next 2 hours to sit down at your desk and do the homework that you're supposed to do and do the assignment that you're supposed to do and fill out the paperwork that you're supposed to do and do the podcast that you promised people you would do. And that is a positive return on my investment. Or in some cases, I struggle so hard with looking at these next 2 hours, let's say it's 9 o'clock on a Friday, and going out and indulging myself into something that may not have a positive ROI on me, return on my investment. And I get it, like people, there is a positive return on investment. There is a sense of community. There's a sense of friendship, and you develop relationships with people. And I get it. So like that's here, and I understand that. I can see that. I know why people do that, but I'm trying to close that gap. I'm really trying to figure out why I don't partake in that, and why I struggle so much with really like doing that aspect of life. Because at the end of the day, oh man, I'm trying to get comfortable. At the end of the day, I do sometimes wish I could enjoy, not enjoy, because I love my life. Like I'm not complaining. But I sometimes I do wish I did, I guess, experience more entertaining events. Maybe is that it? Because the ones I have, I've really enjoyed it. Like within the past 5 years, I've been to one event, and that was this past year. The past 6 months, I went to a Joe Rogan comedy show, and I went with my girlfriend, and it was so much fun. Like I had a blast. She had a blast. She laughed her fucking face off. It was a great time, and and I'm trying to understand why that was okay, and um why I am not able to experience more events like that. And I have friends that ask me. I used to have friends that would ask me to like go out or do this and do that, but now people just don't ask me anymore because I just, if you know me, that's not. I'm not. You're not. I'm not going to say yes. And I might say yes, but I won't go. Or it's a weird one, but who cares, right? I don't know why I'm talking about that. But yeah, yeah. So my mom would go out and she would have these events. She got big into scrapbooking. She has like 7 siblings, so she's always trying to ration her time with her siblings. Her mom was alive at the time, my grandmother, so she tried to get as much time as she could with like her grandmother and stuff, or with her mom before she passed away. We knew time was running low. So that left my father and I and my sister together with no mother around, and I guess you can say we're like the traditional household. Like my mom, she enjoys cooking and she enjoys cleaning. We all help her out, but when she's cleaning, she's in a good mood. Like I think like she really does. Like I don't know. Like for me too. Like I don't enjoy the process of cleaning, but after it, that like sense of euphoria, it's like a drug. Um, you can like see her like light up. She's like, "Oh my god, the house is so clean," and she loves cooking, and she loves cooking for the family. She loves feeding us. Um, so when she's gone, it's just kind of like it's not chaos, but it's just like we are 3 children in a huge house, and we have responsibilities, but we don't have like the teachers not there to like tell us to do what we're supposed to do. So it was like pizza every night, KFC, chicken with their amazing French fries, uh, Chinese food. We go get some burritos. But my dad used to make hot dogs, and I think it started here. He used to make these hot dogs, and at the time, I didn't think anything of it. And I guess maybe I'm just a spoiled brat, but I have like hypersensitive taste buds for some things. Like I grew up wanting to be a chef. Like I went to cooking camp. Like I would go to cooking camp every single summer, and I would go to like um, three 1 week classes a summer. So I was going to like within like the period of 5 years, I went to like 12 to 15 cooking camps, and I loved it. Um, and then the longer I went there, the more I became like hypercritical of food, and the more I was like, no, you can't do that. You can't cook that with that. Or we're gonna have fried green tomatoes, we're not gonna have lo mein noodles. No more of those microwave noodles, which are amazing. I used to take those ramen noodles. I would take those. I would add more salt, and I would add hot sauce, and I would mix those up, and they were the best. I might actually go get some today because they got really good macronutrients on them. Oh man. Yeah. Anyways, so my dad would he would make these hot dogs, and if he wanted to get like fancy with the hot dogs, he would split them down the middle, and then he would throw them on the stove, or he would throw them on like the countertop. Not the counter. Yeah, yeah. I guess the stove and on a pan, obviously. And he would like cook them like that. And they were really good like that because they were like you could see like the marks on them, and had like a smoky flavor. We never had hot dog buns. We would always just use once again Wonder Bread or wheat bread. Um, and we put mustard and ketchup on them. They're good. But every once in a while, he would take hot dogs if we were like pressed for time, or we were about to go fishing, and he would want to like eat them in the car, and we just had to get out of the door quickly before it started getting like really hot and the fish would hide. He would throw them in the microwave, like take a hot dog, not even cut it down the middle, and he would just wrap the bitch in a paper towel and put it in the microwave for an hour and 15 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes. That is not what he did. For a minute and 15 seconds. I am currently just got the rush to use the restroom. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it out. Um, yeah, and then so it just I remember just eating these hot dogs and I could like feel like the gristle, like the I don't know, like and then the more I learned about hot dogs, I was like and then would eat them. I'd be like in my head, I was subconscious, be like, oh, I feel like I'm eating like the toenails, like the gristle, or like the hoofs, or like the nostrils of a pig. So then like my food aversion kind of started there, and then I had a babysitter and I ate a hot dog, and I think I had like the flu before. I like to think that, or the hot dog gave me food poisoning, and I essentially started throwing up. So to this day, I do have a food aversion with hot dogs, and if they're not like the highest quality hot dog in the world, I won't eat them. I'll eat an Italian sausage. I'll eat like a bratwurst. I like those, but the hot dogs, man, they're just too soft, and you don't know what they are, and like I get so scared. I even get it with like some chicken. Like there's some chicken out there, or even like the one thing I hate is ham. Like I am not holidays are coming up. I'm not a huge fan of the food for Thanksgiving. I know, and I say that all the time, and I'm always so confused when people like disagree with me. When you're eating throughout the year, how many times do you go out of your way to get turkey, ham, corn, I guess, yeah, like when do you go out of your way to get that food? I don't. I never do. I like for Thanksgiving for me, it's just literally I get. This is gonna sound disgusting, but this is what I do. I get mashed potatoes. You know, I flop some mac and cheese in the middle of the mashed potatoes. Listen me out. I know this is disgusting. And then I take some gravy and I put that on top of the mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes. And then I get a few rolls, put some butter on them, and I dip the rolls into the mashed gravy after I mix it all up and I eat it. I'm not like I eat a little bit of turkey, but I'm not a turkey guy. I'm not a ham guy because ham, I don't know what it is in ham, but there's like a piece of the ham that if you're eating it, and like you hit this certain part and it's like it's not like sour, it's not like sweet, it's like a bitter taste that like rushes to my brain. I'm like, ugh, ugh. It's so disgusting. So when I'm eating it, it like rushes to my insula, which is like the part of the brain that like is like signifies disgust, and it just makes me feel so sick to my stomach. So when I'm eating ham, I am so scared that's what I'm gonna hit, like that part of the meat that just makes you go like, fuck, that's disgusting, man. And then so it's the same thing with hot dogs. I get so scared. I do not want to hit that part of the hot dog that makes me go like, oh god damn it, that's disgusting, you know. And I get that with chicken too. Like sometimes chicken has like that really it's usually if it's like Purdue chicken or if it's like Tyson chicken, so like steroid chicken. Because I think I don't do what the fuck do I know? I mean, that was good. I'm gonna put my right there. My penguin's gonna be there. But now I got my delicious tea drink. I love this tea. Dude, this tea's so good. This Lipton Diet Green Tea Citrus. It's got no calories, no fat, no protein. It's got vitamin C, 210% of your daily, your daily needs. It's made in Purchase, New York. I don't know if that's a city or not. It's got 170 milligrams caffeine. No sodium. I love this stuff. This stuff it's amazing. I highly recommend it. But yeah, I think that chicken I'm talking about. Oh no, I spilled my coffee. Wipe it out with my shirt. That part of the chicken, I think is like these like Purdue chickens and where I live on like across the bridge, so across the Bay Bridge, over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, not the San Francisco one. This book right here actually talks about that bridge a lot and like suicide rates and stuff like that, which is really interesting. I might get into that here. I don't know, dude. I'm everywhere today. I am just a ball of impulsive thoughts. Intrusive. I call it intrusive now because my thoughts are intrusive. Like they come up when I don't want them. I want to calm brain. Please calm down. And no, they don't calm down. You start thinking about stardust. When you start thinking about jellyfish, and the jellyfish starts making you think about like just chaotic things. And anyways, this chicken. So like Purdue chicken and Tyson chicken and all these big chicken manufacturers that are all grown across the Bay Bridge here, where it just smells like, if you get on Route 50 and you get over the Canton Narrows Bridge, which is the bridge after the Bay Bridge, it just smells like chicken farm the whole way. Just straight up chicken farm. And you remember that propaganda that I don't know what was up with this. I don't know if like, there's probably a conspiracy with like vegan like associations and like PETA in public schools, because I don't know, there would always be a section in like every science class. It could be chemistry, it could be biology, it could be it could be whatever science class you were doing, or just science where you're learning about like Pluto. They would talk about the environment, and the environment wasn't, they would say, oh yeah, gas is bad for the environment, but then they would just crush, like these videos that were like funded by PETA, just crushing these food companies. There has to be like a conspiracy theory with like schools and like the way that they get like funded by like these like pro vegan companies, because there's no reason for a 6th, 7th, 8th grader, high school kid, every single year to have to watch these shows. Like I hate the idea of slaughtering animals using torture. I hate that. I do. I hate it so much. But I also don't think it's school's job to force that on you. I don't know. I just remember always watching them. And maybe we only watched them a few times, but they're so impactful on me. But I think this gristle that you get inside these chickens is just their tendons, because it feels like a tendon, and it's kind of up near the part where like the meat thins out and it gets closer to the bone, where like the tendon would, it's like this is where the muscle and the bone would be held together right there. Like, you know, that meat that's like hanging out right there. Like, here's, like, I got meat, I got muscle here, and I got a little bit of meat here. This is muscle, here's the meat, and then the bone is right there. I think that's how it works. I don't know. Or like my leg. So like right above my kneecap, like if I flex my kneecap, there's muscle, and then there's meat underneath of there. And then if you go down to the top of my patella tendon, so on top of your kneecap, there's like that little tendon. It's called the anterior collateral ligament, or I don't know. It's the ACL. And it's like, I feel like when I'm eating this freaking massive chicken breast, even though it's like the breast part, so it's probably like the tendon that's like connecting to the meat of the breast of a chicken with like the tendon. The tendon is like connecting the meat part to the muscle to the bone. Anyways, my point is, every once in a while when you're eating this chicken, you get like that like crunch, or like that rubber breaking sound of the chicken. So I have a very, very sensitive palate when it comes to like an immediate change of texture. Like I have a very weird thing with like mouths and noses. Like actually just mouths in general. I hate when people go like this with the lips, where they take their fingers, they go like this. I hate when people like touch their lips. I hate watching people eat. I cannot stand it. Like, one thing really weird about me is when people eat and they like bring their tongue out all the way. If you're watching this video, I'm sorry. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry you can't watch it. But then if you were watching, I'm sorry that you did watch it. They go to eat and like the forks come in and their tongue goes out first. You know what I mean? I cannot stand that. I hate anything that comes out of your mouth. I do. I'm not a fan. I hate when people are talking and their mouth is wide open. I eat like an addict. Like, I hide in my room and I eat all by myself when nobody can watch me. I hate being out in public when everybody's eating. I hate listening to people eat. But I hate textures too. Like the one thing, like Velcro. Like, if you take your fingers and you go like this to Velcro, I can hear that and I can't feel it, but I know what you're feeling because I've done it before. So I'm feeling it like in my fingers. Like when you watch a movie, like for any guy out there, you watch a movie, you watch a TV show, and the dude gets hit in the dick, or like that Game of Thrones scene where the dude's up on the cross, and the guy that like those girls are coming in to perform oral sex on him, and then they like start torturing his dick. Like that made me go like, oh god, like that hurt me. I get that like same sensation when it comes to like immediate texture change in food. I have wasted your guys' time for 35 minutes. I'm sorry. But yeah. So I get like that like weird sensation of like, ugh. It's just not for me, man. I'm not a fan of it. It's never done it for me. It's just not my thing, man. I do not get down with it. Yeah, so grew up on all that food, and I go downstairs to get milk, and I have skim milk. We have fat-free milk here. So for the longest time, I didn't know that there was another kind of milk. I remember the first time I was introduced to whole milk, I spit it out, and I hate white stuff around a mouth. I hate it. If it's like mayo, I hate mayo. I hate the smell of mayo. Sour cream, I like eating it, but I don't like seeing somebody eat it. I don't like hearing somebody eat it. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the smell of mayo. What else? Oh, I hate anything that's like a salad, like a tuna salad. I cannot stand that. Egg salad, I cannot stand that. Chicken salad, I don't mind it like between two pieces of bread because it's like there's an off shade of white. There's kind of like a wheat bread. Like, I don't mind that, but dude, I don't know what it is. And for the longest time, I didn't think it was weird until I really started thinking this. It's an OCD thing. It has something to do with my OCD because there's some things I'm very, very, very compulsive with. Like that's one of them. I don't know a lot of people like that. Like I will not. This is one thing I will not do. I do not let people drink after my drink. I will not. And I've had people say, "Hey, can I try that?" And they go like this, and the mouth doesn't touch it. But in my head, you just breathing on it makes me just think that I have to get rid of it. And I'm snarky with it. Like if someone tries one of my drinks, like if I get like a monster that just came out, and my friend comes up, and is like, "Hey, dude, can I try that?" I'm like, "Okay." And I'm telling myself, you can fight through this. I'm like, come on, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. It's not bad. It's not yucky. You're fine. You're fine. You're not going to die. Immediately when they drink it, I'm like, you can have it. You can have it. I don't want it. Get it away from me. You know, like it's really strange. It's a very, it's a very compulsive thing. Yeah, the only person I let drink after me is my girlfriend. And that is the only person. Like growing up, I stopped at like the age of like 6. I did not drink after my parents. I did not share anything ever. Like that's just, I don't know. Another thing, I do not drink out of glass. And you guys seen me do it on this podcast before, and I don't have an issue with it if it's me. Because when I drink it, I make sure my lips are clear, and I make sure that when I'm drinking it, I'm not like slobbering on it, and I don't have my tongue coming out of the glass, like swirling around. Like some people, when they drink glass, you can like see their mouth just like smeared on it. They're like that will make me gag. Like I will dry heave. I would go to the bathroom and I would dry heave. I don't know where I have no idea where it comes from, but it's there and it fucks with me big time. It really does. Like I see people, if I'm at like a fancy restaurant or if I'm somewhere where there's a glass, when I drink my glass, I will look the other way, or I would just look at my plate the whole time, because people have like this residue that's like on their face when they put down the glass. I hope I'm not like disgusting, making everybody disgusted, or I'm not like feeding you guys my obsessive compulsive disorder or like my compulsive thoughts and making you guys, understand, oh, that's weird. Maybe that is weird. And then like turning you guys into like glass haters and like mouth haters too. Yeah. So I drink out of plastic only. Unless I'm with myself, then I can drink out of glass because I got a clean mouth. I'm not doing nasty things with it. And I brush my teeth 3 times a day. I hate having stinky breath. Yeah, man. I don't know what it is. I I think a lot of it has to do with when I was younger. My grandmother, she had a stroke, and I think a side effect of her stroke is she, I think, developed Parkinson's. I think it was Parkinson's. So she couldn't really stop moving her head. Her head was always moving everywhere. It was just bouncing up and down. And I think something that came along with that is her mouth. She couldn't eat things, and her mouth would open up a lot. Not even like she couldn't control her mouth, but like moving it, it would just move around a little bit. And she always ate tuna salad. Yeah, okay, this is where it came from. And it also came from kids with mentally handicapped kids too, also. And I'll tell you that, and I'm gonna finish up the podcast. And every topic I wanted to talk about, I didn't cover. Oh, and milk too. I hated when milk would crust on people's faces. I don't drink milk really. Like I don't really eat cereal. I don't really eat breakfast. Like I can't remember the last time. It's been months since I like sat down, like made a pancake, had some bacon, made an egg, and I don't do that. I don't do that. But she would eat egg salad and like miss her mouth every once in a while, or she'd like talk because she had dentures. So she thought she couldn't really feel that the food was still in her mouth. So she would talk and it would like get on my face, and then she would like kiss me, and when she'd kiss me, like some of the food residue would like get stuck to my face, and it was just, I don't know. It does make me feel bad because she would go in to kiss us bye, since she's passed away. It really, it does make me feel bad, but she would come in to kiss us, and I would like move away like this because I don't know. I don't know what it was. I didn't like it. And then, and then milk just kind of, not a fan. And I remember I grew up always going to camps, and I went to like 4-H club, and I went to like cops camp, and I went to all these like different camps, and there's always like a section for mentally handicapped people, people with like MS, or people with like cerebral palsy, or people with like Down syndrome, or the one where I think it's MS, when your body, your myelin sheath literally falls apart. So it's like a very, very detrimental disease. It's so sad to see because what happens is like your myelin sheath is what transfers neurons to each other. Like it's the coating. It's like the blanket. Like if you lay in bed, it's like the blanket that wraps around you. But what it does is it transfers the impulses of your neurons firing to like do things. Like for me to touch this right here, like I had to fire neurons to go up and do that. But myelin sheath, if it's not damaged, it's very efficient. But if it's damaged, if it's damaged, your thoughts or your impulses or the electrons and the neurons, when they fire, they have to like jump. So it's slower. So everything's slower. And I remember when I learned this in anatomy, it literally blew my mind. I was like, I love science. But yeah, so what happens is if you are suffering from MS, as time goes on, the myelin sheath just falls apart more and more and more. And then it gets to the point where you can't do anything anymore. Like this is healthy, this is not, this, and this, and this. It literally attacks your own body, and it kills off your myelin sheath. And I do struggle with this. I do regret this, and I hate that I did this. But when we would have lunch, I would avoid sitting with people with any type of handicap, and this, me saying this, I'm being very transparent with you, and I don't want this to come off like I don't like people with mental handicaps, because I do. I love them. Like in high school, I knew I had this issue, and I didn't like this about me, because when they would eat, it would get all over their face, and they would eat with their mouth, or they would talk with their mouth open, or they would make noises with their mouth opens. And like some of them had like Tourette syndrome, or some of them just kept moving, so the food would go everywhere, and like pudding would be all over their face, and I hate it, and I cried sometimes because I was like, fuck, man, you're being a dick. Like they're sweethearts, but you just cannot deal with, like, grab your fucking dick, become a man, and go over there and hang out with the kids. But I couldn't do it because I would literally go at a dry heave. I would dry heave. I would have to go to the bathroom. I would throw up every once in a while. And at the time, I had no issue with throwing up because I was bulimic. So I was forcing myself to throw up when I ate food. So I had no issue with that. I guess I could get into do a whole podcast about being bulimic and like my experience with it. And if you guys care about that, I don't know, maybe, but yeah. So like in high school, we had to do a project and we had to work with like a community. And my group chose to work with Central Special, which is a school right up the street where it works with kids with special needs. And it was like I knew that I was nervous as hell. I was so anxious. I didn't want to do it. But I knew that for me, I had to fight it. You know, I couldn't live my life avoiding these social interactions because let's face it, dude, you meet a kid with mental handicaps, they are the sweetest people in the world. You know, they're sweet people. They could be dangerous at times. You know, they could be angry at times. They have emotions just like you and I. But they are sweethearts most of the time. And they make you feel appreciative for what you have as an individual. And I love that. You know, I love that feeling of being very humble, like seeing somebody who is struggling and then you see them smile. You know, you see there's this girl who comes to the gym every Monday. She has Down syndrome, but she is the sweetest girl in the world. You know, she's so sweet. She tells me how I fold like the best towels, and she tells me, I remember I get goosebumps. I remember the first time she came in, they do like a dance class at the place I work at, and she was critiquing my towel folding skills. You know, she's like at the hotel I fold the towels like this, and I was like, really? And then she like showed me how to do it, and she's like, you want to see me dance? Because she like does like tap dancing, and I watched her dance, and she was just so happy. And I was getting pissed off at myself when I would experience these situations where, because if they had to eat, which, you know, a lot of them needed help to be fed, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I had to fight fire with fire. So I signed up for this, and literally for the next week, I just helped kids with handicaps, with mental handicaps, with physical handicaps. And I had to just get into it, and I had to fight that urge. And I've gotten a lot better with it now. Like, I can put myself in situations and I can deal with it, but I do dry heave. But I have gotten a lot better, and it makes me feel like a more complete, happier person. It makes me feel better about myself. But yeah, it wasn't easy. I mean, it's not easy, and it's a real thing. And people who say that having like certain OCD and certain like compulsive thoughts and certain like obsessive thoughts is not real. It's real shit. I mean, on the same side that I have like that issue, I am a very obsessive person. Like that new Call of Duty just recently came out. I cannot download that video game. I cannot buy that video game until I'm out of school. Right now, I cannot do that because I will get obsessed with that. You know, just like the bow and arrow thing a few weeks ago. I was obsessed with it already after one time doing it. I'm not like a little bonfire. I'm a forest fire. Like if you turn on the fire and if you light the match, I am a forest fire, and you cannot put me out until I put myself out. It's crazy. It's not healthy. Like having an obsessive personality is real shit. Anyone who denies that is bullshitting themselves. It's a real thing. And yeah, so yeah, I don't know. But so like for the next weeks, I fought the urge, and I got better. I felt better about it, and now I know how to manage it. I know how to manage all those things now. I still have an infatuation with like numbers and stuff. I love numbers. I'm always playing with numbers in my hands. I'm always putting letters in alphabetical order, like Packers, ACEKPRS, Favre, AEFRV, Mississippi, III, MPP, MPP, SSSS, like road, DEOR, you know, secret, CEERST, you know, ZYX, WVUTSRQ, PONMN, NMLK, JIHGFE, DCBA, ZYXW, VUTSRQP, ONMLK, JIHGFE, CBA. like the alphabetical. And I knew how to do the alphabetical in order and backwards when I was younger. Like at the same time, I have a very obsessive personality, and I have to combat that, and I gotta focus really hard on combating that. But so I've just had to really fight to regain that control in my life. But I think there's a few things I wanted to cover. I'm gonna probably do like a podcast later today too. I'm gonna try to get 2 done today because I'm trying to upload. I want to upload in the future. I said on my last episode, I want to upload at least Tuesday and Thursday, 5 o'clock every day. But I would really want to do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. It's hard with school, but that's my goal. So I'm gonna try and push for that. So I'm gonna go shower, do some homework, and I might try to record another podcast, depending on how much energy I have, because talk for an hour can be exhausting. And it's hard to get guests right now. I have people that want to come on, but it's just with school, dude. It's so hard. I gotta wait. Like this break, I'm gonna try to get 2 guests a week, or at least 1 guest a week once winter break comes. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this podcast right here, guys. Thank you so much for everyone who listened to this episode. This is episode 37. Please like, comment, subscribe. Show some love on social media. Leave a rating on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you listen to this. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys in episode 38 post-Halloween. See you guys.